Good morning, everybody. Breaking news. It's Wednesday, July 8th, and as of yesterday, the ceasefire with U.S. and Iran is effectively over. This footage that we're looking at right here, this is the port of Bandar Abbas, Iran's most critical southern naval installation, approximately 2 a.m. local time on July 8th, 2026. Other sites hit around the country as well. This is a CENTCOM precision strike package. The orange fireballs lit up the night sky. American munitions met Iranian air defense systems, coastal radars, IRGC fast boats, IRGC headquarters, and they're striking the places that just finished lighting up 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. just hit 80 targets, more than 60 IRGC fast attack boats eliminated in a single night. Qashem Island, northern choke point of the strait itself was struck. Bandar Abbas struck, Surik struck from the reports that I'm seeing. President Trump gave Iran a week off for their funeral of their supreme leader, their radical cleric, trying to get Iran to actually abide by the MOU. Iran used that week to attack 3 commercial ships. So this is just insane. So I know what it looks like when an adversary makes a move like this on negotiations. Fractures within the regime, the mafia bosses up at the top are basically unaware of how to get a deal done. They are wanting to extort an international waterway for all of time. That's their goal. Luckily, CENTCOM had also built some obituaries for their fast attack boats and radar sites. Now let's pop to X and let's look at what the president said, and then I want to look at some target imagery as well, and then we'll pop into a full sequence of how these strikes went down. So check this out. Breaking. President Trump declares U.S.-Iran ceasefire agreement is effectively over following a violent new round of overnight military strikes. So let's have a listen to what he said.
Is the ceasefire over? Is the ceasefire done? Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over.
Wow.
I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people.
Wow.
And they're vicious, violent people.
True.
And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Woodcoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars.
True.
We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong.
They're mafia bosses for sure.
With them. They're cuckoo.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Wow. And then check this out. This is U.S. Central Command. So Tampa, Florida. U.S. Central Command forces completed a new round of offensive strikes in Iran July 7th, hitting over 80 targets with precision munitions as an immediate response to Iran's latest attacks on commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. forces struck Iranian air defense systems, command and control networks, coastal radar sites, anti-ship missile capabilities, and more than 60 Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps small boats in and near the strait to degrade Iran's ability to continue attacking international commerce flowing through the international trade corridor. I wouldn't be surprised if more of these small boats are struck. Iran recently attacked 3 commercial vessels transiting the strait, including the Marshall Island-flagged MT AI Rayat, Saudi Arabia-flagged MT Waidan, and Liberian-flagged MT Cyprus Prosperity. The unwarranted aggression by Iranian forces is a clear and dangerous violation of the ceasefire and undermines freedom of navigation. CENTCOM forces remain postured and prepared to hold Iran accountable when the agreement is not adhered to or obeyed. Here, let's have a look at these recent strikes. Here we go. Okay, these are on the coast, it looks like. Coastal radar sites, IRGC headquarters. These look like bigger weapons. These look to me like at least 500-pound bombs, maybe even 2,000-pound bombs. This one, that looks like a 500-pounder going in. Could also be a Tomahawk. Could be some sort of hellfire, but it looks a little bigger than a hellfire explosion to me. Islamic Republic is a terrorist regime that occupies Iran. I think this is something important to think about. So the actual regime that's in power doesn't really represent the people of Iran. They're extremist Shia clerics that have taken power there. Yeah, I mean, this is some of the memes that are coming out. So at this point, the gloves are coming off. The rhetoric is on level 11 from these guys too, because they have to, right? They're all hardliners. They're all mafia bosses. They don't know pragmatism. They don't know how to step back and be like, what's good for us? They have no idea. So this could be the end. This could be where we're headed, guys. And then real quick, everybody, I just want to give you an idea of some of the imagery, some of the areas that have been hit. I mean, this is a massive, massive war. Obviously, they've hit 3 different tankers in and around the Strait of Hormuz. So if we look at some of the coastal sites, some of the areas that could be where these strikes are taking place, the exact locations haven't been released yet. But when I think of fast attack craft bunkers, I mean, look at this bunker entrance right here. This is just, middle of nowhere bunker entrance built into the rocks all along the coastline. So these could be storage areas for drones. They could be storage areas for ballistic missiles. And these all just go kind of right into the hillside. So you can see the revetments as they go in. So what that means is likely there's explosives being stored in here. Just things that, you don't want right next to other buildings. So you need protection. So rock. So I would expect drones. I would expect ballistic missiles. So sites like this, potentially some of the sites that we're seeing getting hit today. And these just need to go bye-bye, pretty much all of them. Bunker entrances, support buildings. I mean, at this point, I think the regime has just shown us that they're not going to go down without acting like the mafia bosses that they are. Potentially some more of the strikes happening here, but this is kind of their main naval holdout. So this is where they try to kind of retreat to. You can see tons of fast attack craft in and around the area. They've got a lot sitting right here. So this is just probably a repair facility, staging area. So these kind of areas just need to go completely bye-bye. Hundreds of fast attack boats probably at Bandar Abbas. So 60 have been hit just yesterday. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more and more of these fast attack craft go bye-bye. So when it comes to warfare, there's lots of different things happening behind the scenes. And for me, I always want to have intention behind the way that I'm studying warfare and presenting it to you. And that's exactly what I did with my new energy drink company. These drinks were purpose-built because when I was flying in combat, I would chug these energy drinks that would give me heartburn and then the dreaded crash like 30, 45 minutes later. So I wanted to create something better, a long burn of caffeine that keeps you going all day long. So that's exactly what I did. I built Max Afterburner Energy to be a new type of energy drink that you can count on for an entire day's worth of energy. So go to maxafterburnerenergy.com right now. Check out our flavors. We've got Lightning Lemonade, Bunker Buster Berry. We've also got merch up there as well. I think you'll really enjoy the F-35 shirts, the F-15E shirts, and go there right now and sign up for our email list because the cans are currently in production. So if you sign up right now, you'll be notified and you can get weekly updates on all the latest breaking news and content from the Max Afterburner channel. So head over to maxafterburnerenergy.com right now. Jump on the email list. It's totally free. Well, let's talk about a sequence of what just happened because on July 7th, the Qatari liquid natural gas tanker Al Rakat takes a direct hit in the Strait of Hormuz. Engine room fire, risk of catastrophic explosion. This is a liquefied natural gas carrier. A fire in the engine room is not a contained incident. This is a potential detonation event. And then hours later, the Saudi supertanker Waidan takes a hit near Oman's coast. Then the Liberian-tagged MT Cyprus Prosperity is struck. 5 drones and missiles confirmed all across 3 vessels. Iranian state media ran its standard line that the ships had ignored warning. So they're just doing the exact same thing they've always done. They're just being the mafia bosses. No official claim of responsibility, though, and it could be rogue generals, but likely it's a lot deeper than that. Classic IRGC deniable action format, just like what we heard the president talk about. So at this point, it kind of looks like General Salami, General Tuna. Oh, and there's probably another one out there right now, General Glizzy. General Glizzy's out there just doing his thing, living his best life, and he's got his glizzy. For those of you that don't know, a glizzy is a hot dog. It's what all the young folks are calling a hot dog. He's sitting there with his glizzy, and he's got his little hand on the red button, and then General Tuna is like, "You sure you want to do that?" General Salami is like, "Yeah, we're supposed to be under a ceasefire." And then General Glizzy is like, "Hold my glizzy, watch this." But now let's talk about the platforms that struck these targets. Looks like over 80 targets struck in Iran, 60 IRGC small boats eliminated. Here's the likely strike architecture from what I'm seeing. Looks like 2,000-pound bombs are coming in. That means GBU-31 Joint Direct Attack Munitions, GPS guided, a CEP, Acronym lovers, I know you needed that. Circular error probability of under 10 feet. These could be brought in by B-1s, by B-2s, likely at this point, since Iran has had time to rebuild their coastal radars. I would say either B-2s, because of the stealthy nature of the B-2, or F-15Es that can threat react and that can team up in a strike package with F-35s, with naval F-18s, EA-18G Growlers, likely a big part of this strike package, to make sure they're actually clearing the way prior to the F-15Es rolling in and dropping the bombs. The F-35s could be dropping 500 or 1,000 pound bombs, same with the F-18s, but likely the F-15E is the workhorse at this point. But enter the 5th gen as well. F-22 Raptors, F-35 Lightning IIs. These are kind of the door kickers. Like the coolest door kickers on the planet right now are actual 5th gen fighter jets. So at this point, once the F-22s and F-35s push in, they push Iran's defenses in, if you know what I mean. They do that to open up corridors for the 4th generation fighters to come in, and that's exactly what they do best. The F-35 sensor fusion architecture shares the full battle space picture with every networked platform simultaneously. So when they go in first as the door kickers, they can pump that information back to the 4th generation fighters, and then together they own the airspace. And then the EA-18G Growler, I can't say enough good things about this. This is the invisible knife, the electronic warfare variant of the Super Hornet, flies ahead of the strike package, jams every Iranian radar frequency simultaneously with an AN/AOQ-99 and a next generation jammer, and Iran's missile screens basically go black. And then let's talk about MQ-9 Reaper drones. These could be also striking the different fast attack craft in the area, although Iran has effectively targeted some of these, but these would be great going up against those IRGC fast attack boats. The Reaper finds them, tracks them, and then the Hellfire closes the loop, just kind of seals the deal, sends the invitation. A little wedding invitation gets sent by that Hellfire, basically. CENTCOM's statement included 5 words that should make every Iranian military commander lose sleep. It said, and special capabilities that can't be listed. That's one of the things that CENTCOM said today. So what could that mean? Well, let's just let the IRGC generals think about that. Let's let General Salami sit at his cocktail party with General Glizzy while they feed each other. General Glizzy is feeding a piece of salami to General Salami. General Salami is feeding a glizzy to General Glizzy. Oh, don't they just get along so well? But remember, know your enemy, know yourself, like Sun Tzu says. The IRGC is not fully broken, and you guys deserve the honest picture here. What do they have? Well, they've rebuilt a ton of their capabilities during this ceasefire. But at this point, they want those small, fast attack craft, and they want to be able to retain the ability to target ships with their Shahed 136 attack drones. Those are those Iranian one-way attack drones that the US reverse engineered and called the Lucas, and is launching them right back at Iran. But at this point, the generals, especially the ones along the coastline, the ones that are making most of the money off the Strait of Hormuz, they stand to gain $90 billion a year. These generals know that. They're sitting there looking at that and they're saying, well, we'll risk ourselves. We'll risk being struck by the US for $90 billion a year, just like a good mafia boss does. This is how their minds work, and I don't see that changing at any point. Let's move to the 40 chess strategic analysis section, my friends, because things have just kicked back off. Effectively, the ceasefire's over. But at this point, it looks like there could be maximum leverage reestablished before more negotiations take place. And should more negotiations take place? Well, I'm sure they will on some level, because obviously opening up that international waterway is the whole goal of the United States. The United States is actually trying to get Iran to come into the fold and be a normal country. They are actually giving Iran the ability to sell their oil legitimately. Well, at least they were. That has been revoked because of the violation of the ceasefire, obviously. So what happens next 48 hours? If Iran escalates, more ships attack, more bases struck, ballistic missiles, Trump's waste of time basically shows that the air campaign could fully kick back off into deeper target sets, potentially even leadership. If Iran goes quiet and Gulf mediators find a back channel, then yeah, maybe there'll be some more negotiation done. But it looks to me like these generals, General Tuna in the Strait of Hormuz has convinced Salami and Glizzy that they're going to collect the toll for the Strait of Hormuz. And there's really no going back. I mean, once they've decided that, they're going down with the ship, from what I can see. So it does look like from their funeral, they're using that as an excuse to lash out. Oh, we're angry, we're sad that our radical cleric was eliminated, even though he said death to America, death to Israel his entire life. We're not sure why he got eliminated. We don't really know. Well, the whole goal there is for them to use that as leverage to attack the US. Basically, the anger they have over losing their supreme leader is really just them trying to show to each other how mad they are. I'm so mad about that I'm going to launch a Shahed 136. And then possibly the leadership in Tehran is like, oh yes, General Tuna, you are so magnanimous. You stood up for our supreme leader so well. And he's like, yes, I couldn't help it. I just love our supreme leader so much. And they're like, what about the billions of dollars you're trying to get into your bank account? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just using that for a GoFundMe campaign for the supreme leader's family. I'm not going to keep that $1 billion. Of course not. So as you can see, they're using this to justify strikes on commercial ships, and they're using it as an excuse to continue to extort that international waterway. So the gloves have come off. CENTCOM hitting 80 targets. Fighter jets, drones, taking the gloves off. Where do you think this goes from here? Let me know in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Go and follow me on X, follow me on Instagram. I'm posting there pretty much every day. And then go to maxafterburnerenergy.com. Join the email list. The email list will keep you updated on content throughout the week. And we've got new merch and the energy drinks dropping soon. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's totally free to sign up for that email list. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Wow. Things have kicked back off, and I'll keep you posted as this developed. Have a great day. This is Ryan, also known as Max Afterburner, signing off.